mate, I had this genius idea. I'm like, mate, I'm going to make water filters. Like, people pay so much for them, hey? And I'm like, it's filtering water. How hard could it be? You just run it through something. Like, I didn't want to spend any money, though, so I'm just going to use old socks wrapped around a Bunnings hose, mate, and I'm just going to call it filtered, and I don't see any dramas at all.
It's like I've launched my bottled sock water business, and, mate, business is, like, booming. I can't believe it, mate. There's so much activity going on. Like, I can't even keep up, mate. As soon as I put fresh socks on, mate, I've got to take them off again, do another batch, hey? Get the Bunnings hose out, mate. But, like, confession, like, I'm just giving this stuff away, hey? Like, I'm not asking for any money. And like all the customers just seem to be all these stray dogs, hey? Like they're just kind of, playing around with the garden hose, hey? I'm not doing good, guys. I'm not doing good at all.
Right, this one time, mate, like I crashed my car, like doing a burnout. It was totally worth it. It wasn't my car either, it was Mum's Corolla. And like I didn't have any money, but I needed to get to my job, collecting Tarzos out of sewer drains. Right, so I figured, mate, I'm just gonna make my own car. And it was going like fully sick, where like, I had all the skateboard wheels all lined up, mate. I had a steering wheel. I took that off Mum's Corolla. But the problem was, mate, like, my little brother wouldn't agree to be the engine, and he totally blew the project for me. I'm so disappointed.
Like, this one time, hey, like, I joined into, like, a college art class, mate, just to further my education and creative abilities, mate. But, like, I didn't actually ask what I needed, hey, and I thought about it, mate, and I was like, oh, I need some, like, pens and junk or something, I don't know. And, like, the only brand I could think of was Crayola, mate. So I grabbed some Crayola gear and headed to, like, my first session, mate, and everyone thought I was an idiot. Because, like, turns out I'm just rubbing this MP3 player on canvas, hey. But it's, like, lucky, mate, that the sides are super sticky, so it actually, like, left a mark, and people thought I was just being, like, super avant-garde, hey. But I'm just heaps cooked, hey. Like, where am I, mate? Where's the shot? One time, mate, I'm, like, sitting in an exam, and it's, like, super stressful. It does my head in, mate. Anxiety's peaking. And what chills me out, mate, is, like, listening to music while I study. But, like, I'm not allowed to have any electronic devices, mate, because, like, I could be listening to answers or, like, cheats, mate. And so, like, I totally snuck in my MP3 pen, mate, and, like, no one had any idea. Or even though, like, there's headphones coming out the back and they're clearly going into my ears, and I'm, like, mouthing along the answers as I go. And, like, the problem is, mate, like, I'm fully cooked, hey, and, like, I thought I had all this figured out, but, like, I totally forgot, mate, like, I took a cooking class. And, like, today was all about, like, actually cooking, mate. And so, like, I'm just humming to myself with my MP3 pen doodling, mate. And I'm just hoping that everything works out. I'm going to fail.
Like, this one time, like, I need a new car, mate, but, like, I didn't want to pay for one. I thought it'd be cheeky, mate, just put a listing in, just saying, like, looking for a free car. Just give me your car, hey. And, like, totally backfired, mate, because no one reads listings properly. And they all thought I was giving away a free car, mate, and, like, the messages won't stop. So, like, mate, the messages won't stop, hey? But, like, I'm pretty desperate for a friend, and I haven't, like, spoken to someone in about 6 years, mate. So I was like, yeah, I've got a car for you. Oh, yeah, it's totally free. It's got rego and everything, mate. Like, meet me at the Macca's around the corner, yeah. And, like, I'm hoping that we can become best mates before they realise that, like, I don't have a car for him.
So, like, it turned out to be an amazing experience, mate. Like, I get there, and it turns out he was there to smash my head in and take the car for free no matter what, hey? And, like, while he had me in the headlock, I was just kind of explaining that I was pretty desperate for a friend, hey? And, like, I just kind of wanted to hang out a bit. And then, like, we had McFlurries, and it was, like, totally sick, mate. Like, I had such a good time. And then he just smashed me in the head and took my phone. I'm in the hospital.
So this one time, mate, I thought I'd enter this fully sick rap contest, mate. Like, just kind of put myself on the planet, get super rich, hey, like, I saw a thing online talking about it. And, like, I was so confident on success, mate. Like, I might have sold all my belongings to like, hire a tour bus for 2 days. And, like, I get to the contest, mate, and it turns out, like, I've looked at a forum post from 2006, and it was, like, almost 20 years ago, mate, that, like, it happened. And I've sold all my belongings, and now I'm standing in an empty car park. So I'm, like, standing in a car park, mate, where, like, there's supposed to be a rap battle, thing where, like, I throw all my possessions, mate, and, like, the start afresh, right? So I'm just honestly, I'm crying. I'm just sitting on a park bench crying, right? And this little old lady comes to comfort me, and I'm like, I'll give you a fully sick wrap for like $2.50 to get a nice coffee. And like, she just tried to give me the money without the wrap, but like, I insisted, so I'm just like, yeah, wrap it up, wrap it up. And then like, she didn't give me the money because she kept running.
So like this one time, mate, I decided like to take Mum's Corolla out for another spin, hey? But like I was banned from the Corolla from like the last time, mate, that like we kind of bagged her up on the main road and like blew out the CV joints and like we couldn't get all the shopping home. But like me and Trevor like, nah, it won't happen again, mate. I'll just feather the clutch, hey? But like we didn't feather the clutch, we just dumped it. And then like we're literally 400 kilometers away from home, mate, and we've blown the CV joints. Can we borrow $5, mate? So, like, we've blown up Mum's Corolla and we're, like, 400 k's away from home, hey? And, like, Mum's the only one who can come and pick us up so, like, we don't die. Because we're just literally laying out in the desert, mate. We didn't bring any supplies. We didn't think this through, hey? But, like, we don't want to let Mum know that we've blown up the Corolla. So, like, we just said we were kidnapped and we were dumped in the desert and we're going to die. And, like, we were rescued so quick, hey? Like, helicopters, police, news crews, everything, hey? And then we just kind of told them that we got lost looking for Tim Tams. And then we spent 3 nights in a jail cell. Fully sick holiday, mate.
So like this one time, mate, I thought I'd enter a biscuit making competition. And like looking at the competition, hey, like, because I haven't even started. Everyone's already cooking, mate. I don't even have any ingredients. And like, I've noticed they're not using something that I'm planning, mate. And I reckon I've got an edge, hey. Come on, mate. I'm like, come back to the shops, hey. And I'm quickly getting started. It's going to be easy, mate. I've decided to make dog biscuits. Yeah, mate, dog biscuits. But like the secret is to use real dog, mate, and no one's doing that. And like, I think, mate, people are gonna lose it. It's gonna be sick.
So like, I'm sitting in a holding cell, hey, because like I really spooked people with my dog biscuits when like I told them that like it's got real dog in it. But like I didn't tell them like it's alright, mate. Like I didn't like hunt down a dog, mate. Like I just shaved the dog. It's just full of dog hair. That's all, mate. But I mean, like, people didn't freak out until I told them that, like, you know, it's unwashed and like they're just dogs I found laying in the street, hey. And like, I'm pretty sure I poisoned people. I'm going to jail.
Well, it's one time, mate. I woke up and realised that shoes suck. Like, I'm sick of them, mate. Like, you got to tie them, and then like they get wet, and then they stink, and then they like stay wet, and it's like it's too much hard work, mate. So I figured, like, why don't we just cover our feet in something that's a little bit more hard wearing, hey? Like, to be responsible to ourselves. And so I figured, why not just dip our legs in molten bitumen? And like, be as tough as the road, mate. And like, you know, it holds up. And like, I can't think of a single bad thing about it. So like, naturally, mate, this is pretty experimental tech here. I'm kind of like pushing the boundaries of shoe manufacture. Like, it's only fair I test it on myself, hey. And it's like, it's fair to say, as soon as the balls and heels of my feet hit that molten mess, mate, like, I kind of bailed out pretty quick. Like, it's a good thing I didn't do my first plan, mate, which was just the swan dive into the big pot and just work it out later. And now, like, mate, as I walk along, it sounds like I'm wearing tap shoes, like, on account of the bitumen being, like, sewn to my skin, which is good because it puts a spring in my step, which makes up for the horrible misery and pain, mate. Come on, $10 for shoes, please.
Right, mate, this one time, like, I was heaps late for work, and I had so little time, like, I couldn't even bother to look for my keys, even though, like, I leave them in the same spot every time. So I thought it'd just be quicker just to run next door naked and just try and hotwire my neighbour's car. You know, I was late for work, mate, and if I was one more day late, mate, like, they were going to sack me, hey? And so I'm just smashing in the windshield, mate, like, trying to jump through. I wasn't using my fists or, like, a brick or something. I was using my head with swan dives, just trying to get through the windshield. And that's all I remember, mate, because, like, you know, I'm in the hospital at the moment. So, like, I'm in the hospital, mate, because, like, you know, I was late for work. I was, you know, just trying to get to work, mate. I'm an innocent civilian. And then, like, police are now, like, my roommate in the hospital, hey, ask me all these questions, like, why were you swan diving naked on your neighbour's car, mate? I was just late for work. It's a normal person problem, hey. And then when they stepped out in the other room for me to put on pants, you know, so I can follow them out, well, I've just started, like, jumping out the window, mate, so I just got to go for a bit, mate. Mate, I was, like, super inspired by, like, my MP3 player. It's a Hot Wheels one. It's fully sick. Like, even if you put the correct format stuff on it, it just won't do it. Not even a JPEG. I couldn't believe it. So, like, mate, I'm going to design a car based around this philosophy. Hey, it's got to be, like, only takes 91 fuel, but, like, it needs diesel. Then you're going to go to the dealer, mate, be like, oh, yeah, I'll put petrol and now it doesn't work. And we're going, oh, well, we have no idea because, yeah, it runs on diesel the whole time. And, like, all the car's controls are going to be so, like, you have to cross your arms, like, to use them at any point, mate. It's going to be fully sick, mate. I don't know why, like, I couldn't get it to market if they could get this rubbish in the market, mate, eh?
So it's one time, time, mate, like I realised people are pretty keen on having clean air, like air purifiers and things. And then I'm like, why hasn't someone made flavoured air? Like, imagine Doritos flavoured air. And like blue Gatorade flavoured air. And like, I wonder why no one's cracked onto this, hey, and like seems like a bit of a cash cow.
So, mate, my flavoured air business has taken off pretty dang good, mate. Like, I've already got heaps of investors, mate, like millions of dollars worth. They are concerned with the amount of yield that I'm outputting, mate. Like, it takes quite a long time for me to develop this process. I've got plans on expanding it to get more of it out there. People are complaining of like a slight bad aftertaste, but like, I'll work it out. It's totally fine, mate. Like, revolutionary product, hey, I'm gonna be a millionaire.
So like, my business is in ruins, hey, because like people just kind of found out that like I've just been eating Doritos and like burping in a bag, mate. Same with the Powerade. And my plans to upscale was just hiring more of my mates to do the same. And then it kind of explained the bad aftertaste. And like, I'm pretty sure that I'm going to jail. Like, this one time, mate, like, I decided to start cooking because, like, I was pretty tired of just licking the floor for sustenance. Like, I was getting a bit stale, mate. And, like, mate, I'm pretty cooked, hey? So, like, I kind of set out to find the most cooked thing that I could ever create, mate.
So after much intensive research, mate, which I think was just blacking out after self-medicating on Tic Tacs, mate, I had an epiphany on what the most cooked thing in the world is. It turns out it's called toast, mate. Because, like, someone's decided to, like, cook bread. You turn wheat and other stuff, I don't know, like shoelaces, and you turn it into this thing after you cook it. And then someone's decided to slice it up and then, like, to cook it again. And, like, I'd love to attempt this, like, amazing piece of cuisine, but, like, I'm ill prepared and I've, like, no equipment at all, mate. Like, all I've got is a pick loader and a shoe and, like, no bread. I don't have anything.
So like, this one time, mate, I wanted to enter one of the dog tournaments, where like they run through all the poles and like run through tunnels and things. It's fully sick. But like, I don't have any skills, mate, especially any of stow and any other animals, hey. But like, I had a fully sick plan, and I reckon it's gonna work out pretty good.
So, mate, like, we're at the dog tournament. It's going fully sick. Like, we're totally clean up, hey? Like, until we got disqualified for, like, my secret weapon, like, did a poo right in the middle of the stage, mate. And the fact it was just, like, my little cousin with, like, a paper bag over his head with dog written on it. And, like, there's no dog contest, mate. We're just in the dog food aisle at the Foodland. And, like, people are just too afraid to really do anything about it. Well, I'm off to jail.
Like this one time, mate, I wanted to be in more touch with nature, and I'm like, well, like, if I want to see nature, I've got to bring the nature to me, hey? And I'm like, well, I like birds, hey, because they scream like I do, and so I relate to that, and I'm like, well, I'll get a bird feeder then. But then I thought I'd get really clever, mate, and I'm like, well, I should attract the kind of stuff that, like, the birds I want to see. If I want to see parrots, you put out seed and stuff, mate. But, like, I'd like to see some giant wedge-tailed eagles in my backyard. So, like, I just got this huge big container, mate, and filled it full of live rabbits, and I've just, like, erected them all over the house. It's not my house. I don't own a house. I don't even know who owns the house. I'm just squatting in the backyard. They only know I'm here because of the rabbits. And all that's happened, mate, is just now we've just got rabbits screaming up on these containers up in the air. And, like, I've now joined them as well because I'm currently hiding from the police. So,
It's one time, mate, I was like trying to come up with like a really cheap fuel solution because your cars can run on natural gas, hey, and I'm like, oh, surely they can run on other gases too, hey, like hydrogen, that's heaps explosive, mate, and like oxygen, that's heaps explosive, mate. And so I was like, I'm gonna make a super gas by combining the two, and wonder why no one had done it. And then like I got this clear liquid. It was like perfectly clear, and it like had no smell to it or nothing. I'm like, well, mate, this is hardcore. This is the real deal here. And so I've dumped it into my dad's Commodore, hey, and it hydrolocked it, destroyed it, and then the mechanic said it had water in the fuel. I don't get it. How does that work, mate?
Like this one time, I'm like super into bass, and I figured, well, maybe it's now the time to try and speak to whales. But I forget if they listen in super high pitch or super low pitch. So I just started playing the Friends theme through like whole piles of subwoofers and tweeters at different beaches, mate, to see which ones would actually attract all the whales. So I've got all these subwoofers and tweeters set up at different locations, mate. Well, it's basically bankrupt me, mate. Not that I had much money at all. And so like, I'm running all these battery backup systems to get this going, mate. But it turns out like I've been self-medicating by like drinking paint.
And it turns out I've just kind of gone on a bit of a stupor, mate, and like I've just set up in like people's backyards and just started like listening out of a small Bluetooth speaker. I don't know where I am, mate.
Like the free MP3 player thing keeps on rolling, hey, and I finally find one that's got some music on it. But then like it turns out it was put in inspiration of myself, even using folder names that I use myself in my 2007 iMac, which shows that they are true fans actual, and that's like really kind of fun thing to find. But like, Jackson, mate, that's
This one time, mate, like I didn't like fruit and vegetables, but then people tell me I have to eat fruits and vegetables, and I'm like, mate, humanity basically came up with most of the good fruits and vegetables through like selective breeding and whatnot. So like, I'm currently trying to make like a Doritos flavored carrot. So like effectively what we're doing is breeding, and like my dad told me about this stuff. So like I wanted to encourage, you know, the carrots and the Doritos to share genes. And so like I got like a totally slamming like blanket just on the ground, and like I got like half a bottle of Pepsi Max, and like I think a radio playing static. And you know that's a romantic night for me, and I'm eagerly waiting the results, mate.